Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of your Hawkeye audio commentary podcast by the Polaris Network. I'm your not-so-dead ghost host, Caleb Blakeman. Joined with me as co-host today, the man with the voice that could lift Thor's hammer, James Gore. James, how you doing, bud?
Pretty well.
And our Marvel analyst today, our special guest, Stephanie Rosas, Jessica Mars, and Ryan Aubrey. How we doing, everyone?
Great.
Doing pretty well.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into it. Let's do a quick recap. But before we do that, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Every Wednesday, we're going to drop one of these episodes to coincide with a Hawkeye episode. Right now, it's episode 2. So if you want the next episode, go ahead and subscribe to the Polaris Network, and you'll get every single episode. All right, into the recap. We started off with that face-to-face meeting. Clint and Kate, Hawkeye future, Hawkeye past. How's everybody feel about that?
Starstruck.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, don't you just love when shows like pick up where they left off?
Right,
yes.
As they left off. It was like instantaneous. I wish there was no break in between.
Waste no time.
Yeah, starstruck. Kate's definitely starstruck by Clint. I think she's excited. Her hero for so many years, finally face to face, and he's a little miffed to see her. Dang it. Well, they make a break from the trench coat, the trash. Oh my goodness. The track suit mafia, which I've known a lot of Slavs in my life, and they definitely say bro a lot. They make their getaway from them, and they return back to the apartment where we get to see more of Pizza Dog. I'm excited about Pizza Dog. He's such a cute addition to the show.
Best character.
So far, anyway. While they're there, they get to do a little breakdown, a little interaction. The interaction between the two, the chemistry between Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld, it's great. A lot of great chemistry between those two. The humor, the timing, I like it. What does everybody else think about that?
She's moving like that star pupil that just wants to impress the teacher, so she's making sure she don't mess up nothing. Yeah,
That's a good point. She definitely wants to make a good impression. Hawkeye might be a little miffed with her, but I think he wants the same thing. I think he might be impressed with her already.
He reminds me of you guys ever seen Logan?
Oh yeah,
the greatest superhero movie of all time, X-Men.
It's a good one.
That movie broke me.
Take number 1 of the episode. He does remind you of that kind of aged. What do they call him? The mentor. He's the aged mentor already. Kind of the reluctant mentor. Maybe he doesn't want to teach her yet, but he kind of knows that she's got the stuff, the special skills.
I would say the only difference is we've seen him be paternal. Obviously, he has like 3 children and a family, so it's kind of like a little bit more natural. I like how they're not forcing that. I
do too. He definitely has the fatherly air with his kids, but he almost seems reluctant to be the same father figure to her. But because he is a dad, he definitely has to go through the motions. Once they get back to her house, the tracksuit mafia tracks him down and starts throwing Molotov cocktails through the window. What an interaction between those. Clint catching the one with his bare hands and throwing it right back. Jeez. That guy's crazy.
How about the guys getting caught on fire and literally worried about the tracksuit?
Of course not, not that unflammable. They'll catch right on fire. Oh my goodness. And then it kind of shows her inexperience. She's got the skills. She shoots the arrow at the fire extinguisher, but
it goes nowhere.
Definitely no control. So showing her newbiness, her inexperience, it definitely comes through. But gives them a chance to escape. They end up breaking out and make their way to the aunt's house, which, of course, the Easter egg there. her aunt ends up being a honorary Avenger in the comic book. So fun little nod to the aunt in Florida. They're able to hide out at her apartment, kind of get their supplies, get their first aid supplies, and maybe get a pizza for Pizza Dog too. Anyway, so Clint decides he's gonna leave Kate there, and he's gonna head back. He's gonna go find the suit. When he gets there, the fire, his infiltration of that apartment was just smooth. Snuck right in, put the fireman's coat on, put the hat on. He got right in there, didn't he?
He did. I something told me he was gonna get caught. I was so surprised he didn't.
Well, it goes to show you that his spy skills that he picked up in S.H.I.E.L.D., he still got it. He still got them. So he doesn't find the suit, but he does find that clue, the New York LARPers sticker on the fire engine. I didn't know that the New York City allowed firemen to stick their fire engines with stickers, but that's cool. There. So he decides that, he's going to head back and he's got to see this through, ends up returning. That fatherly air that you were talking about, he helps Kate bandage up her head. She didn't do it right, so he takes charge and shows that he's the healing father figure, and he gives her a hand and bandages it up. What does everybody think about that?
It was so much product placement in that scene. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, look at all these products that they're showing.
Wow. Yeah, totally. No, but fatherly air, it was good exposition. Seems reluctant, but you know what? He's gonna see this through. Definitely so much product placement. Wow. So then he's got to head back and get his kids off to the airport. So he gets them packed up, and he assures them that he's going to be home for Christmas, but they're a little hesitant. He's not heading back with them. He's got to finish a mission, make sure Kate's good to go. The banter with the kids, and out of nowhere, when did the son become 6 feet tall?
Right. I was like, who's
I was
that?
trying to figure out who that was. I was like, oh.
His voice got deeper too.
Yeah. Almost as deep as yours, James.
That's what caught my attention. I was like, wait a minute.
I heard him speak, and I go, James?
Hey, it was the blip.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you know what I really like though? I like how they're like building these like father-daughter relationships on the show. I guess in the overall Marvel universe, if you remember from Endgame, Tony Stark's relationship with his daughter, I'm trying to think, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
Like those like kind of overprotective. I think it's setting up now. I'm not as familiar with Hawkeye's family in the comics, but is there anything about like his daughter becoming like a young Avenger or something?
That they have skills. He never really wanted it for him, did he? He never really wanted him to pursue that path.
I remember he taught his daughter how to shoot, but like he didn't want to go crazy. That'd just be a pastime for her.
Sure. Yeah, good skill to know, but not necessarily, better have it and not need it than need it and have it kind of situation. Yeah, but I don't think they ever were trained for superheroes. I don't remember seeing them, but then again, I kind of, I know a little bit about the comics, not a full-on expert, so would be a good tidbit to research. Maybe we'll see it in the future. After he gets the kids off, Kate heads to her mom's office after putting on one of the more interesting costume choices. I couldn't tell if it was pumpkins or leaves or what, but that suit was just interesting. Finds out that Jack Duquesne is at her office. Well, letting mom know that Armand III was dead is probably out the window. Got to find out what Shady Jack is up to. He seems to be one step ahead of Kate. What does everybody think about that? A little more shade from old Jack there.
Going back to the first episode, when there was that pause moment, I thought at that moment he knew exactly who was in that suit because it looked baggy on her. And like you can see through the eyes, he might have recognized.
Did he? So he knows now. He even knows that she knows that he knows.
A little bit.
Ooh, interesting. Any hot takes on that?
I'm just trying to figure out who is the antagonist at this point, because in 6 episodes it's kind of weird, right? Like in 2, you should definitely know.
Definitely. Well, let's finish this recap then. So sorry your uncle got murdered. He doesn't seem so sorry about it. We jump over to where Clint is headed to the park. He's gonna do a little LARPing. He wants to talk to the ninja who's currently wearing the Ronin suit. And if everybody remembers, the Ronin suit, Clint's our alter ego when he wasn't Hawkeye, kind of being the wild man that he was, taking out the crime bosses of New York. Thinks maybe this kid's going to get in trouble. He's got to get that suit from him. So decides he's got to do battle. What did everybody think of the LARP?
I have so many thoughts on this. I'm going to just run up and live. Like LARPing, it's pretty much like grown-up Nerf battles and sword fighting, you know, going to have fun. When they did the slow-mo panoramic, like, them people don't know he does this for real. Like, he actually puts people down, and he just waltzing through, just ching, ching, ching. And for a second, I thought it was about to get real, because he wearing the suit out in public. And you know, them tracksuits goons, they be everywhere. So I thought it was about to go from playtime to be like, okay, now I got to pull out my real thing and start putting folk down.
Oh, that would have been scary, not having a real sword and only a Nerf sword to protect yourself.
Man.
Good thing that didn't happen.
True, I was bracing myself.
Well, that's maybe something to look for in the future. As he interacts with who we find out later is Grills, another character from the comic book that not necessarily the same character type, but a good little nod to the comic there. Good little Easter egg. Let's Grills beat him in single combat, just so the superhero can let the fireman become a real hero, just in the eyes of his friends there, his
LARPers,
peers, and his teammates. What a great experience for Grills. I wonder if Grills will come back later in the future episodes. What does everybody think about that?
I'm just hoping they don't kill him.
Definitely. I see them foreshadowing. Even if we don't see them the rest of the series, Marvel really enjoys like bringing back like characters they introduced to us like very slyly.
Definitely. After the LARP, we get a phone call. Kate gets a phone call from an NYPD detective. Maybe a little standoffish at first, but maybe this cop is on the right side and he might be able to help her. What does everybody think about that? Cop gonna cause a problem later on?
They always cause problems. It's just whether it's good or bad.
I get it. They're in the way. They're causing more problems than solving. Okay. Well, after the phone call, Kate ends up going to dinner with her mom and her, I guess, soon-to-be stepfather. After dinner, a sword fight ensues, and maybe this is the nod that we're all looking for. Is Jack the swordsman?
Oh yeah.
Everybody think about that. You know, the knowing Kate's skills against the swordsman's skills. We thought maybe it was a little one-sided. Maybe Kate's got the upper hand, but right at the end, we see that maybe Jack's got some skills of his own.
Oh man, it was the comments that let me know that he was faking the whole time, and I don't know how the mama ain't noticed it. I guess she had too many cups of wine.
Well, does that go back to what we were saying in episode 1? Maybe Mom and Jack are both in this together. Maybe Eleanor and Jack kind of are maybe a little shady on the same level.
You know,
I like that. I like that theory.
It's a good theory. It's a good take on that. I definitely noticed. Seems James noticed. Jessica, I know you've got to catch up on this, so maybe you keep an eye out and let us know what you think.
Yeah, I will. Like whenever we do the next episode, I'll definitely come with my opinions on that, you know, because all I can provide now is hot takes. So
all right. Well, after the sword fight, Jack offers her the same butterscotch candy from Armand's office. What does that mean? Does he kill old Armand? Did he know what was going on? Was he there when Kate was there?
All I know is she ain't got a poker face. She started sweating immediately. Like she folded. Oh, she folded bad.
Oh, goodness. You're absolutely right on that. After the butterscotch incident, Tracksuit Mafia ends up, quote unquote, capturing Clint. Did Hawkeye intend for them to capture him? I think so. I think he took a page out of old Black Widow's book.
Oh, so you caught that little like reference, that subtle nod?
I thought so. A good little Easter egg there. A good little nod to, hey, I'm working. I can't be, this guy's interrogating, giving me everything. I think it's a good tool that those guys use.
Right.
Clint, we find out Clint actually does want to speak to the boss, and you see a couple of people in that office, and you're wondering who really is the head honcho. Kate using that tracking software that her mom's company ends up making might be a useful tool, might also be a tool for the enemy in future episodes. But anyway, she uses that to track Clint down. When he gives her his number, she uses that to install that tracker on his phone. So she knows where he's at, decides that she's going to help him, but that doesn't go as planned, and she falls face first through the glass. Showing her skills are still not as developed as they need to be. Again, comedic timing from Kate, from Haley Steinfeld. Great work there. But that kind of means the Tracksuit Mafia has both of them captured. And that leads us to who our boss is, I guess. And at the end of the episode, we first get our glimpse at Echo, the Daredevil villain, who, like Daredevil being blind, Echo is a deaf supervillain. So using her heightened senses to get after one. Does that mean that Daredevil villains are going to come back? Maybe Kingpin? What does everybody think about that?
Well, Echo, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's like some adopted kid of Kingpin, so we may see him or some iteration.
I do like Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. He played a good part in that series, the Daredevil series. But yeah, she might be the equivalent to Kate Bishop. Kate being trained and practicing really hard, but coming from a life of luxury, where Echo being an excellent fighter, learning all the skills and stuff too, but coming from a position of weakness, adopted and the underbelly of society. So it'll be cool to see how those two fight it out. And I don't know, maybe learning sign language from Clint from Hawkeye, maybe him being deaf will play into Echo being deaf too. I don't know. What are everybody else's predictions for future episodes? What does everybody think of this episode in general? What are some Easter eggs everybody else noticed? Let's dive into this.
I don't know about an Easter egg, but I'm glad that Marvel is giving more shine to ALS people right now.
Sure.
Yeah, ASL people, and that's getting me to look into learning more so I can talk to my deaf friends and such.
Why not? I mean, it's a skill, and not necessarily an important skill, but it helps somebody else out, and it's fun to learn that. And right. I've known a couple of ASL people myself, and they, it helps to know certain things to be able to communicate with them.
Right.
Anybody else notice all the Disney Easter eggs?
Oh yeah, all
too many.
I get it. You bought Marvel. You're a gazillion-dollar company.
We want our respect.
In every frame. Yeah.
We want our respect.
They said you guys don't want commercials, fine, but you're gonna get plenty of references.
Yeah.
Oh,
every last one of them.
Every last one.
Anybody else think that this felt like a cop procedural? Anybody getting detective show vibes? More street level mystery and cop procedural? Maybe
honestly, I don't know if you guys ever seen the show on Netflix. It used to air on Fox. It's a Warner show. It's actually a DC show called Lucifer.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it? So are you familiar with how on Lucifer when in the earlier seasons when like Detective Decker is around him, he's like kind of like that. Like that's his kryptonite. Like she weakens him and makes him kind of like mortal, so he can be hurt when she's around him. I kind of sense like a similar thing with their dynamic of Clint and
can't be his full Hawkeye with her around.
Exactly. That's why you notice when she arrived, he was like, oh, like his whole energy changed from I'm in control of the situation to like more of that protective, paternal kind of like, you know, those instincts take over naturally.
Wow. Interesting take. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. Another expositional episode, maybe a little long at 50 minutes, but you know, we discussed this in the last episode. Maybe it's for a purpose. Maybe there's a lot of information coming in and setting things up for future episodes. What does everybody think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, since it's only 6 episodes, I feel like maybe these first 2 they got to get it off with like a lot of information, and maybe by the time we get to episode 4, you'll start having more like like just more develop. Like you've gone through this developmental stage. You know, because if you have a series that's like 10 episodes or something, you have a lot more leeway to just be like, okay, we can give you all the exposition in the first episode, but then have it more just like flow in these other episodes. But whenever you're only dealing with 6 episodes, like you really got to cram a lot in there, especially if you're, and what we've seen with Marvel, if you're setting stuff up for future things to come in the Marvel universe, like I feel like it's necessary.
Right.
Absolutely. And this is only 6 episodes. So, as you said, a lot of information's got to come in really quickly. So hopefully there's not a lot of explanation and we do get to see a lot of action. But we'll see. Future
I think so, for sure. Yeah. Like I don't know if you remember Loki. Like episode 3 of Loki was when like it picked up and it like went into that next phase.
Yeah, it was. Because those first 2 episodes, they were great, but there was a shitload of information in those first 2 episodes. But then it got more lax as it got to 3. So I think 3, 4, I think in episode 3, episode 4, we're probably going to get that transition, just like in Loki.
When did it hit in WandaVision? So maybe there's a formula with these Marvel shows.
WandaVision was 9 episodes? I would say 5. Around 5 is when they like. Remember the first 3 were like, because it was shorter. It was like 20 minutes.
Sure.
The first 3 were like very confusing and like they were trying to like catch us up to where they were at, and then they did the whole sitcom thing, and it was, you know, it was slower. And I think 5 is when it picked up.
So maybe there's a formula to this. Maybe maybe we're gonna get some exposition, some action, and then we'll go back to
method in the madness.
Yeah, definitely. There's a reason why these things gross $1 billion.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this is the most street level show, though.
I was just gonna say that. I think this is the most grounded show in the universe.
Right.
You know, in the Marvel universe. I mean, I get Punisher vibes a little bit, but again, that the Marvel Entertainment was different than Marvel Studios. So hopefully
at that time, they're gonna bring over Punisher. They have to. That's like my favorite character.
Gritty, dark, and I want to see that. And
then, especially that second season, it was like a similar dynamic too.
Definitely. I could see them going, you know, who wants a dark Christmas adventure? I do. I'm raising my
I like how the show doesn't take itself too serious though. Like it still has, like you said, that comedic timing. I didn't know Haley Steinfeld was this funny.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
Great dynamic, great comedic timing. You know, I've read a couple of hot takes from others that say this is the weakest element of the Marvel shows. And I don't know if we've seen enough yet. I'm interested. I want to see more of this.
I was actually very excited to see that she was the one playing the character, like because I've loved
our main character.
Yeah, I've loved her in so many different things, and I think that it's great getting the opportunity to be in something so monumental. You know, like Marvel, like that shit is forever. You know, so once you become part of that, like you know, you got it basically, like. You got a job for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Lower budget of the productions, you know, not as much budget went into this show, but God dang, they stretched it. It looks great. The content great. Is there.
Yeah.
Pacing, but we'll see. Maybe this is more like a detective show. Maybe this is more like the dark, gritty stuff that we want to see.
Yeah, I think this is the means of, like how we just said, that connection to Daredevil. Yeah. They're probably gonna pull, especially with rumors that Daredevil is in Spider-Man. They're pulling more and more elements from that Netflix universe that does exist but doesn't exist, but now it's a multiverse, so it does exist but then it doesn't. Yeah. And I think they're gonna pull Punisher, reboot, Daredevil. A lot of people love Daredevil, so we'll see. Maybe reboot, maybe not.
Yeah.
Because then you kind of have like that weird like Defenders angle, like don't really like that, and the Iron Fist that we don't care for. Right. I think they're just setting up like more, especially we see Shang-Chi. I think the overall universe is just one setup.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Like, because there's a lot of setup going on right now. Like, even with Eternals and like the Easter eggs that they gave at the end, like, it's like it makes sense, but it's like it doesn't really. But I feel like everything that they've been exposing Easter egg wise on like all these shows, all the movies, like it's just gonna all come here and you're gonna be like, whoa.
That's a question I wanted. Oh, go ahead, James. What was that?
I said that gives me like two thoughts. For Kate Bishop being the main character, that makes me think soon down the line we're gonna get the Young Avengers, and they may start pushing that.
I hope so.
And the second thought is people gonna start respecting Hawkeye more, like how Aquaman with that movie, people started loving him, giving him more respect. He don't just talk to fish. With this, we're gonna see, hey, he know how to get more ass than just draw a bow. Like, people gotta give him their respect.
Absolutely.
Put some respect on my name.
Sure. I have a question for everybody. So, if you had to rank all of the Disney Plus shows thus far in order that are Marvel, what would they be?
Loki's my favorite.
Loki number one, gotta be.
Yeah,
I get that. I think Hawkeye. It's too early to tell definitively, right? But I'm liking it. I'm liking where it's at.
Yeah, I like it too. I think the acting is good. I think the visuals are good. I don't think it's too serious, but it's not too lax. Like, I think there's a great balance between that, and I think that it'll be able to engage audiences better. Loki was kind of like, it was kind of more on the serious side. Like, there, of course, like, they always have the comedic relief, like in all of these things, but I feel just like y'all were saying, like a Punisher, like I feel like this is more, I feel like this is like a more relatable story, and I feel like people are going to be able to adapt to it really well. So yeah, like you said, I think it's too early to like give a but it's definitely up there. Like I've enjoyed what I've seen.
Sure,
the worst, not the best. Yeah.
Well, I got WandaVision as my worst.
You think? I thought WandaVision was better than Winter Soldier, or not Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I like the action sequences for the 4 of the episodes.
I like the story-driven pieces. They're great. Anyway, I like that question. Let's see how this goes. Maybe it falls in rank. Maybe it goes up. Let's see how this series turns out. The director, executive producer, Rhys Thomas, had said there were a lot of influences. There were a lot of things that he brought into this. And Rhys, he directed TV specials, stand-up. He came from Saturday Night Live, so the comedy's got to be part of it. But he also wanted things to be serious. So he said he took influence from Leon the Professional or, Die Hard. He even said, with Christmas movies like Home Alone or Gremlins. Mm-hmm. I'm getting these vibes, absolutely. All those movies were great. I could see this series being a hit.
Yeah.
We won't know till the last episode.
Absolutely.
We know Marvel can give us 5 good, solid episodes. So far, they have not definitively proven that last episode they can give us. Like, they can end a story or one season story arc effectively.
Right.
And honestly, you know why I think so?
What?
This is my last hot take.
Number 3. Let's hear it.
I think that they can't do it because they've done movies for so long. And they're so used to setting up the next thing with the movie with those the movie ending, then the post-credit scene, the mid-credit scene. Like, I think they're so used to that formula, it's now working against them for the TV side.
That's a great hot take. I completely agree with that. Is it too much?
On that hot take, I agree.
That's a great hot take. I like. Yeah. Is it too much? Is there extended scenes? Is there post-credit scenes? Is there setup for the next episode actually going to hurt them? That's a great hot take. Well, I guess we'll have to see. Okay. Anybody else got any other information, any other thoughts, any other predictions? How are we going to see this episode 3 turn out? What are we going to see?
I don't know, but I'm very much like anticipating whatever goes on. Like, I'm actually really, really excited to see how this turns out, because I'm kind of like in a state of just like, I really don't know what's gonna happen. And I love I think that's what I enjoy about it, is that I don't really know what's gonna happen. I can't really anticipate anything right now. And so I'm excited about that. Like, I love watching stuff where like I can't like figure it out. Like, I want to be shook, you know, and like whenever I get to that 6th episode, I'm like, okay, like that made sense. It's gonna make me want to go back and rewatch it so I can get all the Easter eggs and like bring it all together. So I feel like this is gonna be that kind of show for me, and I'm excited.
And they do try to push that. You know, the Marvel loves rewatches and marathon watches. So you know, watch all the Avengers movies back to back and then dive into Hawkeye or something. But what about you, James? What do you think is going to come down episode 3?
I mean, this might be pretty obvious, but I'm certain Echo finna put the hands on somebody. And Kate gonna learn that little black belt at 15. She got some more learning to do.
She's gonna kick some ass, definitely. I think so too. That's a good point. Trenchcoat Mafia. God, I keep saying that. Tracksuit Mafia. Somebody in a shot collar.
That's their new name.
Yeah. Every time I mess that up, somebody's got to shock me or something.
Wrong New York Mafia.
Yeah. Wrong one. I think, they're going to play a humorous part. I think with Echo, with the Tracksuit Mafia, things are going to get real interesting for Clint and Kate.
They're pretty lovable. There's some lovable goons.
Lovable, intimidating, and lovable at the same time. I love that. Anyway, a lot of learning to do from Kate, a lot of teaching to do from Clint. I think that's great. What about you, Ryan? What do you think's coming down? Episode 3.
I think we're going to get a very good inclination at the mom's true motives. I did not like how shady that was in episode 1 when she had that little side meeting with Amon and was like, I honestly don't know. I was like, oh, she is an amazing, like, either she really doesn't know or she really is a good liar, because I believed her. I was like, oh, okay.
She seemed like the instigator during the argument, but played the victim really well.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah. Something's going on with Mom.
She's definitely a manipulator, because even whenever her daughter was told that she was married, just the way that she handled that whole situation in the first episode, just like, is there any way that you can find yourself to be happy for me? Manipulator? Like,
wow. Yeah, maybe, maybe her and Jack, maybe her and, they're going to team up, or maybe she's manipulating Jack. Who knows?
Yeah. And I don't know, like, and that's the thing with Jack. I don't know if he's like on the villain side or if he's on the good side. He might be getting manipulated. So
I might have an even darker hot take.
Let's one more hot take. Let's hear it.
What if, so Armand said some interesting things in that first episode, Armand the third. But there's too many Armands to go around. We just need to say A3. So Armand the third had said, he pointed out that like he didn't like the mother at all to Kate. And then in his conversation with her, he was saying how like her business was not a good business or something like that. Her empire was fake. What if that very first scene that we saw at the Battle of New York when Kate was a child and we just randomly did not see the father? What if and we didn't see the mother, like she couldn't find her mom at all? What if her mom killed the father in that movie and took over the business?
That would be perfect. That's perfect timing.
Yeah, because they were arguing at the beginning and she did not seem happy with him. So
I think,
wow. Okay.
I think that hot take is the hot take we need to end this episode on.
It's the hottest take.
That's the hottest one. That's so fucking spicy. I tell you.
Dylan.
What do you think, everybody? Should we end this episode? Have everybody tune in next week for episode 3?
Yes.
The Hawkeye audio commentary offers comprehensive coverage of the Marvel Studios limited series Hawkeye. We're going to put a new episode every week, every Wednesday after each new episode airs. So if you fell in love with Iron Man, if you are just starting with Hawkeye, tune into our show. We're going to break it down for you. We're going to discuss our predictions, our instincts, our hot takes, as you can tell, episodes. So give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Tune in next week. Thanks everyone for joining us. James, Jessica, Ryan. I think we're good to go. Have a good one. 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 Have a good one.